Hello, how are you doing today? Well, I'm doing great, thanks for asking. I have a question though. Have you ever gotten the writing advice to write what you know? If so, you might be a little confused because how would you write science fiction, fantasy, or crime fiction? Well, in today's video, I'm going to give you so many tips, like 14 of them, on how to get around this problem, starting with number 1. Write what you understand. That's in many ways what this really means. After all, you might not know what it's like to commit a crime. I don't know you, so I'm assuming. Anyway, you do, however, know likely what it's understand. Ambition, desperation, guilt, and pressure. Those are all strong backbones of crime fiction. You may also know more than what you think. In your workplace, there are likely hierarchies, your boss above you, that can translate into police chain of command. And there are also conflict with your coworkers, possibly police, which can translate into police interrogation or gang worker. Hopefully your coworkers aren't blowing each other up and stuff like that, but if you also have a job that has deadlines, you can use that to ramp up the tension. And with a ticking time investigation, in other words, the cops have maybe 3 hours or 3 days or however long you want to find a person alive. Adjacent experience. You've probably never been in a gunfight, but if you're writing a scene with has one, remember the most afraid you've ever been. And maybe dial it up even further than that. Also, think of when you felt trapped and had to make a choice between a bad decision and a potentially even worse one. Like you think, well, if I do this and this will happen, and I do that and that'll happen. Well, and whatever was the worst thing happening for you, maybe have your character make that choice. Number 4, research to fill in the gaps. I personally had the benefit of having 3 former police officers over the course of my job as a security officer. They were all able to give free technical advice on the police aspect of it. For example, in my first book right here, No Remorse, No Regret, there was a drug dealer who was killed, and the cops in the scene said someone saved taxpayers a lot of money. And, well, one ex-cop supervisor said that definitely would happen. Hopefully that doesn't knock everything over. Cool. And remember, emotion sells it, though. Because remember that while it is important to get as accurate as possible, when you're writing fiction, though, the story is the most important thing. Readers might forgive some logic and reality holes. They won't forgive boring characters, and they just might take your book and throw it across the room like I'm going to do with this coaster here. Wing, like that. You possibly also know different personality types. No doubt you've dealt with manipulative people, liars, and other nefarious types. Hopefully you're not one yourself, but if you are, you will definitely have good source material for a character like that. You've also dealt with those who are weak-willed and can't make their own decisions. And remember, when you want to write a character with a certain personality type, think of somebody you know who's like that and incorporate it into the character. Just remember to have other traits that are not like that person so they don't come back and sue you. Number 7, use your curiosity. As you go about your day, casually observe how people act, how they talk, and other stuff. Think of how people lie and how they avoid eye contact and other things. You may also know a role for number 8, even if you don't live it. Like if you're not a detective, you possibly also know responsibility and the weight of consequences. All people have that, or they should do, because it's kind of universal to the human condition. Number 9, you can watch true crime. There are TV shows with cops have body cameras on it, like Cops, I do believe, and there are shows like Real Interrogations that can give the ability to give research how interrogations are done by real cops. Number 10, specificity can beat experience. You don't necessarily need to have a career in law enforcement, but you can give sensory details, like when you were exhausted from working long hours or from insomnia. Think of that when you're writing a cop who's been working for 12 hours on their night shift and has very little sleep, like they maybe only had like 4 hours sleep that day before coming to work. Number 11, your unique perspective. This is a great advantage in many ways, because if you've ever been in a writing group and everyone is given a prompt to write, the same prompt, every writer will come up with a different story. And this in many ways is what writing what you know protects, your own originality. Yeah. Number 12, think like a storyteller. You're not a documentarian where you need to have total accuracy. Authenticity in fiction supports your narrative. It doesn't replace it. Yipper dipper. Water break now time. Yeah. Number 13, write what fascinates you. This is, in many ways, a better version of this advice to write what you know. Through research and everything else mentioned in the video, you can learn the rest of the things you need to know to complete a story. Number 14, emotional honesty beats technical expertise. Readers won't connect with a story that reads like a textbook. Fiction is for escapism, after all. Readers will connect, however, with the grief of a victim's family, and the obsession of an investigator, and possibly the moral conflict of a suspect. So there you have it, my tips on how to write what you know. And I hope you liked that video and that it helps you with your own writing. Have a great day and a great week. I will see you in 7 days. So long, everybody. Have a gravy one.